Well, hello. You're very welcome to this terrific Thursday morning, and it's time for the AM show. We're so excited to bring it to you. My name is Kojo Yankson. I'll be doing this with Roland Walker and, of course, Mama Viusu Abuaje. And boy, what a show we have in store for you. We'll kick it all off with AM Talk later on the show when Al Hassan Suhini joins Frank Anodompre for a fascinating go through some of the big issues that have taken center stage throughout the week. You'll love it. You'll love it. I've got some choice questions for each of them, I promise you. But beyond that, of course, we need to start thinking about what we just heard yesterday. The Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, on behalf of its members, is announcing, and by its members, I mean Airtel, Tigo, MTN, and Vodafone. They're announcing that, well, all of us are going to have to pay a little more for our telecommunications now, won't we? Why? It's because taxes changed at the mid-year review, as you recall, and as the structure of the tax changed, it meant that the burden of the tax became more and more on you and I. And so we'll talk about the effect of that, and we'll also get some further and better particulars on this when we speak to members of the chamber right here on the show. Right, what else have we got cooking this morning? We've got the JoyNews agenda this week, and we've been looking at decrepit and dysfunctional, defunct factories. And we'll end it all with Showbiz, brought to you by Awake Purified Water. A big show indeed.
Well, so we have to also tell you that you have to get interactive. Facebook JoyNews on TV regularly is the page you have to go to, and then you can watch us live on My Joy Online TV. But right now, we have to start with our morning motivation. I've seen Commandment, I've seen 11th, I've seen Message, I've seen Man, I've seen Kojo.
You've seen enough.
Yankson.
You've seen too much. And it's time. All right, today's message from the Morning Man is called the 11th Commandment. Now, what would you do if you found a bag with 10 million cedis in it? That was the question my friend Kweku asked me one hot afternoon in 1984. I was 5 years old. My family had just moved back home to Ghana, and I had just made my first friend, the boy next door, Kweku. So we were sitting on the steps outside my mother's kitchen, and my new friend was getting to know me. I had already answered the crucial questions of, do you have a football? And what will happen if we set fire to a lizard's tail? Yes, Kweku was that kind of kid. And then he brought up this important moral and ethical quandary. And after a few moments of silence, my simple answer was, I'll give the bag to my daddy so that he can take it to the police station. Kweku burst out laughing. Ah, you two, you are foolish, Papa. If you don't want to chop money, why do you want the policeman to chop it for you? Thinking back, that may well have been the beginning of my loss of innocence. That realization that, well, there are people who disagree with my parents' strict moral code, and that such people thought it was foolish to do the right thing. In 1984, that was my introduction to Ghana, if you like. Fast forward 30 years, and I'm wondering whether my motherland has changed at all. Do people still think it's foolish to do the right thing? Well, let's see. What would you think of a police officer who refused your bribe and insisted on taking you to court for a traffic offense? What would you think of a journalist who refused to take your solé in exchange for writing a story in your favor? How would you feel if the professor who helped your son gain admission to university returned the crates of drinks and the bags of rice that you sent him as a thank you? If you handed a thick brown envelope to your local ECG officer for an illegal connection and he declined, what would you think of him? Be honest. Would you not think all these people are dumb to turn down free money for something they will never be penalized for? In Ghana, it seems we ridicule our saints and revere our sinners. For us, the real crime is to fail to take advantage of any situation where you can profit illegally without getting caught. It's almost as if the only real sin for a Ghanaian is to break the 11th commandment, thou shalt not get caught. Now, if a government minister completes his tenure and returns to the same bungalow he was in before his appointment, people will laugh at him. His own family will call him names and ridicule him for going all the way to the top and coming back empty-handed. But if within the first year of his appointment, this same minister were to build 2 houses and a filling station in East Legon, his family would sing his praises, and his church would make him harvest chairman every Sunday. My friends, when did we become like this? When did we decide that it was wrong to do the right thing? When did we decide that the real heroes among us are those who get away with murder? What message are we sending to our children when we introduce them to rich politicians who didn't even own bicycles before they went into government, and we call them honorable? When we get stopped by the police and we place phone calls to our friends in high places who get us off the hook, and then we drive on to drop our kids at Sunday school, what are we really teaching them? For some of us, it's too late. We have created a system that makes it too easy for us to do the wrong thing and get away with it. But if we allow this cancer of moral misdirection to infect the next generation, that would be truly unforgivable. African-American Congressman J.C. Watts once said, "Character is doing the right thing when nobody is looking." There are too many people who think that the only thing that is right is to get by, and the only thing that is wrong is to get caught. My name is Kojo Yankson, and as long as the sky remains above and the earth below, right will never be wrong, and wrong will never be right. Good morning, Ghana.
So among all the mixed bag of issues, we know that some of the critical subjects we'll be discussing this morning may be right, and others may be wrong.
Yes.
Others also, we need to think around them and hope that at least we'll get some buy-in of you, our viewers, who are the ordinary citizens we have in our country, and perhaps our views would also matter to those who tend to manage policy. Well, Kojo, we're in interesting times. Yesterday was a good time. We had about 100,000 young people getting makeshift employment for the next 3 years. If they decide not to transition before the end of the 3 years, they get to have some skills to improve on. More so, they need to get some allowances, so they're going to get that. It's all been costing us around 600 million Ghana cedi. Set up and then the payments. Well, we're discussing all that. We have to bring you the latest news headlines, and then Kojo, we also have sports.
That's true. That's true. All of that coming up. But first, of course, the news.